Elon Musk is the richest person on Earth, worth over $240 billion. He's the CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and owns Twitter while planning to colonize Mars and having already revolutionized the electric car industry. Looking at his success today, you'd never guess that this man was once so brutally bullied as a child that he was hospitalized after classmates threw him down a flight of stairs, or that he was nearly broke and sleeping on friends' couches while trying to keep his first company alive. This is the story of Elon Musk and how a socially awkward kid from South Africa became one of the most influential entrepreneurs of our time. Elon Reeve Musk was born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa, to May Musk, a model and dietitian, and Errol Musk, an engineer. From the very beginning, Elon was different. While other children spent their time playing outside, young Elon was completely absorbed in books, reading for up to 10 hours a day through everything from encyclopedias to science fiction novels. His parents actually worried there was something wrong with his hearing because he seemed so lost in his own world, completely ignoring everything around him. But Elon's childhood was far from easy. His parents divorced when he was just 8 years old, and he made the decision to live with his father, a choice he would later call a mistake. Errol Musk was emotionally abusive and would spend hours berating young Elon, calling him worthless and stupid. The psychological damage was severe, and Elon has described his father as a terrible human being who made his childhood extremely difficult. School brought even more challenges. Elon was small for his age, socially awkward, and obsessed with things other kids didn't understand, making him an easy target for bullies. The harassment was relentless and brutal. When he was 15, a group of boys beat him so severely that they threw him down a concrete staircase. Elon was hospitalized and couldn't breathe properly through his nose for years afterward, requiring surgery to fix the damage. Instead of breaking him, these experiences seemed to fuel Elon's determination to escape his circumstances. At age 12, he taught himself computer programming using a manual that came with their family's Commodore VIC-20. Within months, he had created a space-themed video game called Blaster and sold it to a computer magazine for $500, his first taste of entrepreneurial success. Elon knew he had to get out of South Africa. The country was still under apartheid, and young white men were required to serve in the military, something Elon desperately wanted to avoid. At 17, he managed to obtain Canadian citizenship through his mother's heritage and left South Africa with just $2,000 in his pocket. He had no guarantees, no safety net, and no clear plan beyond getting to North America. His first year in Canada was a struggle. He worked odd jobs, cleaning boilers, cutting logs, and shoveling grain at a farm. The work was backbreaking, and he was barely making ends meet. But Elon had a bigger vision, and knew that to achieve his dreams of changing the world, he needed to get to America, specifically Silicon Valley. After 2 years in Canada, Elon transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States, where he studied physics and economics while already dreaming of starting his own company. In 1995, at just 24 years old, he made a bold move. He dropped out of Stanford's PhD program after just 2 days to start his first company, Zip2, with his brother Kimball. Zip2 was essentially an online Yellow Pages, a directory service for newspapers to help local businesses get found online. But starting the company meant living like a homeless person. Elon couldn't afford both an apartment and office space, so he slept on the office floor and showered at the local YMCA. For months, he survived on nothing but hot dogs and oranges because they were the cheapest foods he could find. The work was grueling. Elon coded during the day and all through the night, often working 100-hour weeks. There were times when he was so exhausted that he would pass out at his desk, only to wake up and continue coding. His dedication was absolute. He had bet everything on this company succeeding. The sacrifice paid off. In 1999, Compaq acquired Zip2 for $307 million, making Elon $22 million richer overnight. Most 28-year-olds would have retired to a beach somewhere, but not Elon. Instead, he immediately invested almost all of his money into his next venture, an online banking company called X.com. X.com was revolutionary for its time. Elon wanted to create a complete online financial system where people could do all their banking through email. But the company faced fierce competition from a startup called PayPal. Rather than fight a destructive war, Elon made a bold decision to merge the companies. However, while he was on his honeymoon in 2000, the board of directors staged a coup and removed him as CEO, replacing him with Peter Thiel. Elon was devastated. The company he had poured his heart and money into had been taken away from him. But once again, he didn't give up. He remained the largest shareholder, and when eBay acquired PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Elon walked away with $165 million. At 31 years old, he was now wealthy enough to retire forever. Instead, he decided to use his fortune to pursue the two biggest challenges facing humanity, making life multiplanetary and accelerating the transition to sustainable energy. With $100 million of his own money, Elon founded SpaceX in 2002. His goal was audacious: to reduce the cost of space travel and eventually colonize Mars. The space industry laughed at him. Here was a guy with no aerospace experience trying to compete with Boeing and Lockheed Martin. Experts called him delusional, saying he would burn through his money within 2 years. They were almost right. SpaceX's first 3 rocket launches were spectacular failures. Each explosion cost Elon millions of dollars and brought the company closer to bankruptcy. By 2008, he was nearly broke. He had also started Tesla Motors in 2004, and both companies were hemorrhaging money during the financial crisis. Elon was forced to choose between saving SpaceX or Tesla. He didn't have enough money to fund both. It was the darkest period of his life. He was going through a painful divorce, living on friends' couches, and borrowing money just to pay rent. The stress was so intense that he lost significant weight and developed what he called the worst back pain of his life. But just when it seemed like everything would collapse, SpaceX's 4th rocket launch succeeded. The Falcon 9 became the first privately funded rocket to reach orbit. NASA immediately offered SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract, saving the company from bankruptcy. Tesla was still struggling though. The company was burning through cash, production was a nightmare, and Elon had to personally guarantee loans just to keep the doors open. In 2018, during what he called production hell, trying to manufacture the Model 3, Elon was working 120-hour weeks and sleeping on the factory floor. He was taking Ambien to sleep and drinking excessive amounts of coffee to stay awake. At one point, he broke down during a New York Times interview, revealing he was working so much that he hadn't taken more than a week off since 2001. The pressure was so intense that Tesla's stock price became extremely volatile based on Elon's tweets. In 2018, he famously tweeted that he was considering taking Tesla private at $420 per share, leading to SEC investigations and a $20 million fine. Critics called him unstable and demanded his removal as CEO. But Elon persevered through it all. Tesla eventually solved its production problems and became profitable. SpaceX began successfully launching astronauts to the International Space Station, breaking the monopoly that Russia had held for nearly a decade. Both companies started generating billions in revenue. Then, in 2022, Elon made perhaps his most controversial move yet. He bought Twitter for $44 billion, claiming the platform was essential for free speech. The acquisition was chaotic, with Elon firing thousands of employees and making dramatic changes to the platform. Critics said he was destroying Twitter, while supporters praised him for challenging big tech censorship. Throughout all of this, Elon has never lost sight of his ultimate goals. SpaceX is developing Starship, the most powerful rocket ever built, designed to carry humans to Mars. Tesla has accelerated the entire automotive industry's transition to electric vehicles, forcing every major car manufacturer to pivot to EVs. He's also working on Neuralink, a brain-computer interface that could help paralyzed people walk again, and The Boring Company, which aims to solve traffic through underground tunnels. Today, Elon Musk's companies employ over 150,000 people worldwide. Tesla is worth more than most traditional automakers combined. SpaceX has reduced the cost of space launches by 90% and is planning missions to Mars within this decade. From a bullied kid in South Africa to one of the most influential entrepreneurs on Earth, Elon's journey shows that with enough determination and willingness to risk everything, it's possible to change the world.